Hey guys, Fafner here. Today I have a battle of a mono normal versus mono grass. My opponent was challenging me through the battle frontier as a challenger on the Facebook group Poketown, to which there should be an annotation somewhere on the screen right now. My opponent Karok is bringing his Sceptile, Breloom, Trevenant, Ludicolo, Superior and Shiftry, whereas I am bringing my Pyword, Diggersby, Chansey, Pidgeot, Porygon-Z and Staraptor. That all said, let's jump right into the battle. So Karok is starting off with a Shifty, which is actually what I expect him to do other than a possible Prelume lead. I myself lead with my Pyroar, and I actually thought he would go for a Sucker Punch, but he goes for the knockoff instead, so he knocks off my choice packs. Doesn't matter, however, my Flamethrower is still going to connect, and I actually was afraid he would be sashed or something at this point, but he wasn't, so I got the easy first kill here. Now he sends out his Breloom, and I knew he was gonna Mag Punch me, but I also knew that this Pyroar, he lost the specs, it's no use of me any further. So I let him take my Pyroar, and I switched into my Pidgeot, because I knew that my Pidgeot would be faster with the exception of Mag Punch, which I could easily lift thanks to the flying type. So I go Mega and I use a Hurricane on him. I'm actually surprised that he didn't Mag Punch me, but at the same time I knew he would be sashed, which he is. Though I get the Confuse on him, but that in the end turns out to not even matter. Breloom goes through the Confuse, uses a Rock Tomb on me. At this point I had done the recalcs of the speed, and my Pidgeot would have been slower than the Breloom, but regardless it got through the Confuse again and used Mag Punch to finish off Pidgeot. So I was quite stunned here, because that's really a setback. So I switched back into my Diggersby, and my Diggersby is sashed, so I actually went for the return here. But luckily Breloom finally hurts itself in its own confusion, third time's the charm. So my return fails, and I stay in with full HP, still sash on me. He switches in a Superior, goes for Leaf Storm. I know I survived this thanks to my sash, and I go for a Fire Punch here, knowing I deal a lot of damage. I actually thought he would be Scarfed or something, but he's actually a Life Orb, so he's taking quite the 10% damage, and the Fire Punch just barely doesn't kill it. He goes for another Leaf Storm, and while it also KOs me, it also KOs him because of the Life Orb, which I think was a 1-for-1 trade. I was really happy with this. I was afraid that Superior would live longer, and that would have really cost me. So next out he sends out a Trevenant. He had Trevenant, Ludicolo and Sceptile left at this point. Actually, I expected him to send out either Trevenant or Ludicolo, and I'm actually happy he sent out Trevenant. I sent out my bulky Staraptor and went straight for the Brave Bird, knowing it would KO it, and so it did. Well, I took the fair amount of recoil. I don't think that matters, as he's now going to send out his Ludicolo, and the Ludicolo, it was a special attacker, so it's using the Ice Beam on me. I'm a physical defensive Staraptor, so there's no way I'm living this. I have no speed investment either. So now I switch into my Chansey, knowing he's a special attacker. My Chansey is FU light with the regular defensive build, but still a high special bulk. So he goes for the Leech Seed, and I go for the Wish for the just for the recovery. Now here comes the stupid part, because sure, he hits me with the Ice Beam and everything, and I go for the Seismic Toss here, which does about 1/3 damage, something like that, 1/4, 1/3. And he gets the Leftovers recovery, and at that point he also gets his Leech Seed recovery. Now, due to Chansey's having a very high base HP, he actually fully recovers back the seismic toss damage, which technically means that my chance is completely useless because this set does not have a toxic. I'm going for another wish, and at this point I decided to kind of stall out his Ludicolo, hoping that he would switch to his Sceptile, which he luckily does quite quickly. While his Sceptile would also be special, so I thought. At this point, my Chansey, by the way, runs a Wish, Seismic Toss, Counter, and Heal Bell set. So again, his Sceptile gets the Leech Seed recovery, and I noticed that it brings his Sceptile just near the point where it's fully alive. So he obviously goes Mega, and I'm like, well, I have that counter. Perhaps, like a very small chance, he's actually physical, and he is. He uses Earthquake on me. I live it easily, and I go for the counter here and actually do really a lot of damage on Sceptile. It's near death at this point. So Sceptile gets the recovery again, and I thought, well, perhaps it's mixed, it's not gonna fall into the counter anymore. Well, it's actually using Leaf Blade. I went for the Seismic Toss regardless. So the Seismic Toss is going to connect and just KOs it. I think it mattered like very little. It might have been 49, 48 HP or something that it had left. So he sends out his Ludicolo again, which is his last Pokemon, goes for the Ice Beam. And I really don't need my Chansey anymore, so I'm just going to put that wish up and let my Chansey die to this Ludicolo, because there's really no point for me to keep it. Now when Chansey finally gets KO'd, still takes quite a bit, and I send out my Porygon. I actually expected it to get the attack boost rather than a special attack boost. It was quite too bad, but anyway, I went for the Tri-Attack, which is still the best hitting move. He goes for the Ice Beam, and he gets me just above the half point, but he still gets his leftover recovery. So at this point I was like, perhaps my Tri-Attack did a low roll and I can get high roll now, or his Ice Beam did a low roll and he's going to KO me if he survives it, but he doesn't. Actually dies to my second Tri-Attack, and I win the battle. Thank you for watching. I hope you can leave a comment, put that like up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.